Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Michaela, and if you like dark romance, then this is the video for you. As much as we all love getting lost in an amazing book, there is really something to be said about binge watching a TV show while eating your favorite snacks that is super good for the soul. When I am watching TV and reading dark romance, I'm looking for the drama, I'm looking for the deceit, I'm looking for criminal activities, and I have found all of these elements in the TV shows that I have here for you today. If you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber, so make sure you hit that red button as well as the thumbs up, and let's get straight into 8 TV shows to watch if you are a fan of dark romance books. First up, we have Baby, which is an Italian show with 4 seasons centering on Ciara, who goes to an exclusive private school. She's pretty stereotypically the good girl. She gets good grades, she's an athlete, she does what her parents expect of her. One of her best friends is the principal's son. So when the new boy, Damiano, who is from the wrong side of the tracks, comes, it is discovered that he is the illegitimate child of a local diplomat. He shakes things up a little bit and really gets Ciara questioning everything that she knows about her life. She sort of falls down the rabbit hole and starts hanging out with the school vixen Ludo, which leads her into the world of sugar babying and escorting. This is an absolute wild ride of a show with some really high stakes situations, as well as bringing those elements of like, wow, what on earth is going to happen next? How can I possibly watch another episode of this all while you're like clicking through watching more? I couldn't make this video without mentioning Elite. If you have not watched Elite, run, don't walk to Netflix. Get this on immediately. It's a Spanish show, but it does have English dubbing and there are 5 seasons of it. The first like 2 to 3 seasons are absolutely amazing. This show is like Gossip Girl meets Pretty Little Liars, meets One of Us is Lying, meets like the most insane psychological thriller. Like you just have no idea what's going to happen next. And then when it happens and it goes there and you're just like, what the fuck? So it's like a murder mystery. So throughout the series, we discovered that a murder has taken place. There are sort of flashbacks as well as some interrogation sort of scenes, especially in the first season. And it culminates in the final episode. I'm not going to give away any spoilers for any of these shows, but it is definitely one of those things where you're just like, what? And then the second season, even crazier. There is some like, pardon the pun, elite level romance in this show. Still lives in my head rent free. If you know, you know, if you've watched this show. Honestly, the best characters that you think that you're gonna like love and just be like down for the whole time, you end up hating them. What on earth is going on? What is the motivation behind that? When the characters are introduced in subsequent seasons, they throw a spanner in the works. This show is just, I can't even describe how much I love Elite. In fact, I think I want to do a rewatch ASAP after talking about it. So Spinning Out is a Netflix original that only had 1 season, but it did give us some amazing chemistry as well as some really dark and twisty storylines, especially affecting secondary characters towards the second half of the season. Kat Baker is a competitive ice skater who was destined for greatness before she suffered a serious head injury while competing, which essentially ended her solo career. Kat is also living with bipolar disorder, which is a trait that she shares with her mother, as well as her mother being a former ice skater herself. That anti-Gilmore Girls vibe, like there's that mirroring of mother and daughter as well as them both dealing with the same thing in their own ways. Kat is given a lifeline and she is told that she'll be able to compete with a partner. We are introduced to Justin, who is from like a really privileged background. He's kind of the perfect contrast to Kat and kind of makes her ask questions and challenge herself in more ways than one. Like I said, the show only got 1 season, so if you're a little bit fatigued from reading, this is definitely something that you can pop on and get through in a weekend on Netflix. A really quick watch is the 2-season spectacular that is Dark Desire. The show is truly a mess of like love quadrangles and deceit and lies and murder, or like it honestly, every time you'd watch this, like I would just be like, okay, I'm just gonna finish. Next episode! It's also going to be perfect for people who are fans of the younger man, older woman trope, just like in that JLo movie, The Boy Next Door, as well as that kind of old movie with Richard Gere, Unfaithful. It's about Alma. She is a 40-something law professor who is married to Leandro, and she suspects that Leandro is having an affair. And Brenda is a little bit of an agent of chaos. She is recently divorced, so she like really encourages Alma to kind of step out on the relationship. She's like, if he doesn't respect you, then you don't have to respect him. And this is when we're introduced to Dario. He's an attractive young man that Alma has this like night of passion with, has a really great spark, instantaneous chemistry, some super hot sex. And then we discover that Dario is a new student in Alma's law class. So she's shit out of luck with that one. I don't want to say anything else about this show. other than it gets progressively more insane, especially as you get to season 2. This is definitely a show that you can lose yourself in, and I think that it is perfect for fans of dark romance novels. Great examination of toxic female friendships and sort of that bridging period from finishing high school to becoming your own person in young adulthood is the BBC production Clique. This one is set in Edinburgh, Scotland. Holly and Georgia are childhood best friends who are moving on to the next stage of their lives. Georgia is a little bit more withdrawn than the bubbly Holly, so Holly kind of falls in with this group of beautiful alpha female types who seem to have been assembled by this Professor Jude McDermott, I want to say her name is. It feels like she's on uneven ground at the best of times due to an incident that occurred in her childhood involving Georgia as well. We catch glimpses of that through flashback scenes. Also, there's little snippets of conversation. Her closest friend, her biggest ally, feels like she's been taken away from her. Holly really devolves to a point where she becomes really paranoid. She starts to sort of take it out on the girls who are in this clique. I could describe this show as like one sort of thing. I would say that it would be like Mean Girls meets Gossip Girl on crack. There is romance in this. There are some male characters, as well as sort of towing that line of like, is this friendship or is this obsession? Final episode of this had me absolutely like screaming when I watched it years ago. And while there is a season 2, it does feel quite complete after season 1. So if you're not gonna invest in watching both seasons, you can definitely just watch season 1 and kind of like be happy with the completion of that. Recommendation number 6 is Toy Boy. This is a Spanish show that currently has 2 seasons. Hugo is a young guy. He's living his best life. He is a stripper. He's making money. He's in this sexual relationship with this older woman who is like amazing. He's really fulfilled. Till one morning when Hugo wakes up at a yacht, there is a burnt corpse beside him, which turns out to be the husband of his older lover, and Hugo can't remember anything that happened the night before. He maintains his innocence in all of this, but unfortunately money talks, and he is quickly sentenced to 15 years in jail for a crime he is adamant he did not commit. 7 years into Hugo's sentence, he is visited by a young and up-and-coming lawyer who says that they want to do a retrial, but she doesn't believe that he is guilty of that, and Hugo has always maintained his innocence in this. Hugo's suspicious of the offer, but when it goes through and he's immediately released pending a retrial, it's a race against time for him basically to prove his innocence and find the actual person who killed his mistress, lovers / whatever's husband. This one's really great for people who love their dark romances to have sort of like bad man, gangster vibes, a little bit more violence, a little bit more sort of like we run the night sort of thing. So let me know if you check this one out. Another short and sweet show that was actually inspired by a book, so it's a little bit meta that I'm recommending this to people who like dark romance novels, but they've definitely amped it up for the Netflix, and that is Tiny Pretty Things. This is set at a prestigious ballet school in Chicago. A cast of characters who all have their own secrets, as well as the overall mystery about what happened to the prima star ballerina who fell off a building and suffered a serious head injury. She's been in a coma for about a year. This is one of those shows that is actually like visually stunning. It kind of looks like a music video in a lot of places. There's a lot of wide sweeping shots. The costumes are on point, a ridiculously attractive cast. And like I said, it's only 1 season, so you could probably smash that one out pretty quickly. Finishing up my TV show recommendations to watch if you love dark romance is Skyrojo. This is the fantastic tale of 3 sex workers who are escaping their abusive pimp. This is a visual spectacular as well as just being some cuckoo bananas television. Laurel, Wendy and Gina were all in financial trouble, so they become indentured to this pimp. Salts them that they're able to work off their debts, but when Gina finishes the balance of her transaction, Romeo the pimp starts to try to say that no, she owes him more money. It leads to a physical confrontation between the two of them, which is overheard by Wendy and Coral, who kind of like jump in to help her, and in the ensuing scuffle, Romeo is killed. Fuck. So now obviously the girls are in some serious shit because Romeo knows some people who have the vested interest to make sure that his business is running smoothly, to make sure that he is able to sell these women against their own will at often times. And when the women that you're exploiting cannot be controlled anymore, they are not making you any money, and that is not in the best interest of the bad men. One, there is flashback scenes so you kind of see how the characters got to the point where they are. Really heavy themes, and it does bring up a lot of conversation, but I think that it's definitely great for fans of dark romance because I know that we are very aware as readers that like these things are not necessarily good if it is entertainment. There are still real things that happen in real life that are just like this. Skyrojo is definitely worth your time and you'll fall in love with these characters just like I did. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you'd like to see a part 2 because I could definitely do that, or even movies to watch. if you enjoy dark romance novels. And if you are new here, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I post videos every week. Let me know in the comments down below if you've watched any of these shows, if you enjoyed them, if you have any other recommendations. It's a place to talk, it's a place to chat. We love the vibes here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you're having a wonderful day wherever you are in the world. Lots of love, hugs, and kisses. Mwah! Bye!